Good afternoon from Europe. Good morning, good evening, guys, wherever you are. This is Light Forex Global YouTube channel. Friday, 11th of September 2020, 10 minutes ahead of the US cash open. Getting closer to the weekend. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the charts ahead of the weekend. Before we start risk warning as usual, guys, please bear in mind trading on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for investors who can sustain a loss of some or initial investment. So please do not invest the money you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Alright, guys, so what we have. So yesterday it was the ECB and the euro get weaker towards the end of the day. Well, I wouldn't say it was because of the ECB. All right, this upper shadow, another one day before, also upper shadow. I wouldn't say it was because of the ECB. There is a little bit of the concern when it comes to the euro strength, but they are not targeting particular euro level right now. Well, we were laughing, we were joking that whole Twitter already said yeah. Unless we are going to get back above 120, then everyone is gonna be concerned inside the ECB, and they will start to target them some particular levels. Anyway. We also, today we got the final German CPI month-to-month minus 0.1, exactly in line with market expectations. Then we were waiting for the US data. Again, I don't think yesterday euro weakness was related to the ECB. In my opinion, yesterday euro weakness, dollar strength, I would say different way. Only dollar strength was related to the PPI out of the US above the market expectations, and it was putting the pressure, and the market was expecting also higher CPI today out of the US. And yes, CPI month to month 0.4, expectations 0.3, core CPI even higher 0.4 with the expectations at 0.2. With that being said, dollar again is getting a little bit stronger. So what we have when it comes to the euro dollar? Well, if you are a bull, then the move back inside the channel, trying to hold the bottom of that rising channel, right? Trying to move a little bit higher. I wouldn't be surprised that we are going to take out maybe next week the stops post ECB and trying to finish the business when it comes to the swing high. So 1965 eventually could be in place. On the other hand, if you are a seller, you love those upper shadows, right? In that case, we are right now, as you can see, blue dashed line, we are fighting around the weekly open. So the bears will try to push and close below the weekly open number 1, right, and maybe below the Wednesday high number 2. That would create what? That would create great swing high opportunity over here. Let's switch lower. Let's have a look what we have. Well, was it possible to recognize yesterday moves? Well, I would say when it comes to the downside, boom. When it comes to the upside, okay, not this one. When it comes to the upside, we are going to change the color. When it comes to the upside, it was I've been expecting equal waves, right? So if you are going to take into the consideration equal wave after the break, okay, boom, and then only upper shadows. Well, if you monitor what I'm doing, then you are aware that I've been selling euro heavily yesterday around these levels. Now, what is going on when it comes to today's rally? All right, again, we've seen the rally this morning. Well, I would say it more or less related to what we've seen when it comes to the euro pound. We are going to discuss in a second. So from intraday perspective, taking into the consideration where we are, I would like to take a little bit bigger picture. If you are a bull, then I would rather say you wanna treat the old bottom of the consolidation. So the buyers are around 1770, 1750. If you are going to lose that level, we are reopening, move back, possibly towards 115, the breakout level over here, right? So that's where I expect some buyers. Sellers around the post ECB high, and then again around the 1965. That's how the things looks like for me for now from the bigger picture. From the intraday perspective, well, I do expect two scenarios, and they are related to what is going on euro pound and pound overall as well. All right, so in case we are towards the option expiration and towards the London fix, if we are going to look for the stop hand, right, towards 1885, 1895, this swing high when it comes to the yesterday post ECB price action, if we are going to see some kind of the rejection, then I'm going to look for the intraday buying opportunity, meaning that I'm gonna to close the position at the end of the day, or with profit or loss, or I'm going to be stop out, right? On the other hand, if we are going to revisit 1770, 1750 within the next 2 hours, I might look for profit taking ahead of the weekend, and I might try to join the party to the upside when it comes to the euro dollar. Well, as I mentioned, many things are related to the euro pound, where we are when it comes to the euro pound from the daily chart perspective. Well, there is a possibility we are going to build nice over under, right? So finally we are hitting the levels we were discussing for quite some time. Well, if you are like a, let's quote it, Braveheart man, right? Then you can try to look for the selling opportunity from the intraday perspective. How on the euro pound, based on the possible megaphone formation, right? So triple up rally, stop, hand to the upside, rejection, retest, continuation to the downside. What's gonna be the target? First target, mid of that line of when it comes to the megaphone. The second one, bottom of the megaphone, right? So either levels close to 92.45, 92.55, or move back towards 91.70, 91.50, right? But big but, if we are going to make the break of that level, and we are talking about the daily chart right now, so from the bigger perspective, the bigger chances are for the buyers right now. But you know, you don't want to chase this supply right now, right here, right? You don't want to chase this supply here. You want to wait for the pullback or breakout, right? So what kind of the breakout and what could be the target if you are going to manage to go through 93.50? Well, in that case, I wouldn't be surprised to see much higher levels, where towards 97.50, 98, and maybe even with the stop count towards the parity when it comes to the euro pound. Overall, pound being hurt by the latest Brexit developments, no doubt about that. So if we are talking pound, let's have a look at one more. It's a cable, right? Huge move to the downside this week. Huge monster move to the downside this week. Now we are trying to find some kind of the support, right, around this broken swing high, right? So upside break, and this is the first test of this broken swing high, right? But I wouldn't say it's the end of the game right now. I think that at least we are going to retest 26.50, 26, unless we are going to get suddenly positive news when it comes to the Brexit, right? So two scenarios for the afternoon, in my opinion, right? Before we will jump into the indices. Well, we have, I would call it unclosed gap between today prices and the Wednesday low, right? So let's place the line. Sorry, let's place the line, yeah, somewhere here, and let's switch to the hourly chart. For me, cable for now, it's only sell rally thing. we were trying to hit European high around the US cash open, but I think one big drop to 1 and around the London fix we might see retest of this Wednesday low. We are talking about the levels close to 28.90, 29.10. That where I would like to sell that thing. In case of the scenario number 2, continuation to the downside ahead of the option expiration and London fix, right? If we are going to make something like this, I would be very careful with possible profit taking later today when the only US guys will stay on the market ahead of the weekend. So some kind of the cleaning boost. So you wanna see the rally right here, right now, this type of the, let's call it profit taking, to have a possibility to fade that rally and enjoying the lowest close, right? You don't want to chase the current market when it comes to the short side. All right, so finally let's switch to Nasdaq. Let's have a look what we have. Very interesting thing. I'm going to place few lines. Switch to daily first. If you remember, we have the whole plan 11,050, 11,000, that's the level. I'm waiting for the retest. Been thinking that maybe yesterday we are going to go get that low. No, unfortunately we didn't. Yesterday high as a supply, right? And it's related to the weekly open from the Monday. So let's place the weekly open over here. Weekly open blue dashed line like this. All right, so we've been rejected, so that's the supply for me today. Yesterday high, so levels close to 11,500 to the downside, 11,050, 11,000 as a demand. Is it possible to join somehow the party? Well, only for me, because ahead of the weekend I would like to see the stop count below yesterday low, the stop count below the Wednesday low, closing the business when it comes to the swing low from the daily chart, and rally from here, right? That's the number 1. Number 2, how to join the party to the downside. Well, as you can see, we have very nice liquidity pool above yesterday high, and that's, with that being said, taking into the consideration the price action, some kind of the stop count and rejection, that could be the setup for me to try to short today ahead of the weekend Nasdaq. But I won't be married with the position, meaning that either my stop is going to be hit, either I'm going to take the profit, but anyway I'm going to close the position at the end of the day. So guys, be very careful ahead of the weekend. Don't be trapped. Don't try to chase the market. Watch the price action around the option expiration, then again around the London fix. Be very careful. Work with your exposure. With that being said, hopefully we are going to see after the weekend, right? Stay tuned and see you around. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Take care and goodbye.